Hey friends, it's Sketchy, and today I want to draw a robot using inspiration from the kitchen and the home. I was making a smoothie today, it was delicious. I saw this blender, and I also noticed there was a camera in my windowsill that we use to keep an eye on the kids when we're not around. That's not creepy or anything, is it? By the way, if you're a kid, your parents need to know what you're doing all the time for your safety. Anyway, there's also a vacuum cleaner. So let's draw each of these different items and then use them as inspiration to develop a robot. Let's try it. So the first one is a blender. Okay, so the blender kind of looks like this. It's got kind of a rectangle at the top. It tapers going down. It's rounded at the bottom. There's a handle on the side. It's see-through. There's a base, and the base has a panel that's at an angle, and then there's the base, and then it goes like this. Yeah. And there's little blades in here that mix up your stuff. Anyway, and then there's little measuring things on the side, and of course there's a big button here that says frappe, frappe, frappe. Okay, so this is one appliance. Let's get this out of the way. The next one is I think a vacuum cleaner. And the vacuum cleaner that I remember, it's like got a big like canister thing on the front. There's a hose that goes here, that comes out here. And then there's a handle like this, and that handle has a little trigger. And then it's got, it's got like this little panel here where this is all the dirt goes. And then at the bottom is a vacuum foot, and it kind of looks like this. And then there's a beater bar in here that stirs up all the dirt from the carpet, and then this little vacuum. Oh, this thing comes up here, sucks up here, and woo, stores in there. But there's a hose that kind of comes up out of here, and it looks like this. And you can choose up here whether you want it to suck up from the beater bar, this little thingy here, or the hose. And on the other end of the hose, you have these cool attachments, and that look kind of like this. It sucks up stuff, like a little fly. Help me, help me. Alrighty, so there's a vacuum. And the last thing I wanted to draw, we'll just set this aside here. The last thing I wanted to draw was this camera. The camera kind of looks like, it's got kind of an oval on the front where the lens is, and it's glass here, so it's kind of glassy. And then it's like bullet shaped. And there's like a little access panel or something where you can screw off the back end and get access to the guts inside. And then it has a little mount thing, and then it's got a little stand. I think it kind of looks like this. And this is kind of weighted, so it's a little bit heavier than the rest of this stuff. That is the camera. Well, let's see what it looks like if we take all these little deals and make a robot. I think the coolest thing for like the head of a robot would be this lens. So I'm gonna draw the head of the robot like this. And I don't have to draw exactly like that, but pretty close, because I'm just using it for inspiration. Let's definitely have let's just do a little access panel across the top. And then we'll have a big lens. If you want to get really good at drawing like shiny things or stuff, just take a good look at shiny things. Like really look at it, and then see where the reflections are and where the highlights are, and how soft or sharp the edges are of those highlights and stuff. And you'll learn a lot. I once did that with a drop of water to see what the water looked like, and it was really cool. So if this were a drop of water, there would be a highlight right here, and this is where, right around this highlight is where the water would be the darkest. And then it would shine a bright spot right here on the water. And so this would just kind of all be blended, but it would be lightest, or second lightest, right here. Darkest right around the highlight, kind of bright there. And that's what a water drop looks like. Isn't that cool? Super cool. Anyway, and the same thing applies to like lenses. So the lens would be darkest right here, and then it would be lighter down here. Oh, the same thing is true for your eyes. Your eyes are like lenses too. Not kidding. Okay, so that is our camera head for this robot. So the body, let's make the body look like a little bit of a vacuum. So I'm gonna use this little vacuum idea. So I like the shoulders, like right here. It's kind of like the shoulders. Give it some thickness. I'm gonna leave a little space right here for like an arm. Okay, so let's just pretend there's an arm gonna come out. And then instead of making it really long, I'm gonna make it a little bit shorter. So we got an arm out here, and then I'll make sure there's an arm that kind of comes out over here too. And then for the feet, let's use this for his feet. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller because I'm running out of paper. So I'm gonna create this shape. Like he's going where he's looking, but his body's not there. My body's not going the same direction. This top square part first, and then here's the back, and this is gonna be angled, and then this line, and this line are parallel, and so will this one be. Parallel, parallel, parallel. Those are all parallel. But this one, and this one are gonna be parallel in perspective. This one, and this one's gonna be parallel in perspective. Let me taper that just a little bit more. Alrighty. Ooh, let me move this guy. So he's underneath it just a little bit more. And deselect that. Looks too much the same size. So I'm gonna undo that, and I'm gonna make this bigger. Yeah. Flip horizontal. There we go. It's one of the magical things about using a computer program to draw. Makes fixing things super, super easy. I'd have to redraw that whole thing and erase it to get it right, but I don't like to erase it. Okay, let's use these arms like hoses. It's hoses, so I'm gonna go and follow that same line. And I'm just drawing C shapes around, like I'm going all the way around, okay? It's not just a C shape, it's actually following the surface of that hose. Okay. And at the end, I want to draw a kind of a pincher. Instead of a vacuum hose, I want to draw a pincher like. Start with it looking like a square, then I'm going to taper, and then I'm going to make it thick. So I'll have thickness. That's how you draw a little pincher thing. Well, and we got to make it so that these fingers, they can slide this way and this way if we wanted to. Okay, let's do a pincher over here. And it's like you can do two things at once. Now, this arm is going away from us, so we'll see it like this. Awesome. Oh, by the way, here's the frappe button. Frappe. Don't want to miss the frappe button. Well, we need to give him the ability to move. So I'm going to put some like ball bearings underneath him, like that. Remember, we're just having some fun. So unless you plan to do a robot like this for like work and you're getting paid, then you better do a really good job. Let's color it real quickly. One of the things I can do is just quickly, just using a selection tool, select the whole thing. And don't worry, it's okay if it's a little bit messy. In fact, it kind of adds to the charm. I'm just drawing this whole thing here. Okay, then I'm gonna use a gradient from a light color, like let's do bluish, and to a darker color, I'm gonna do like a little purple color. Darken up a little bit. And just by creating a gradient from here to here. Now I got this really cool overall color. Now I can change the colors just by like, I'll change the color of the vacuum part. Just by changing this. I change the hue saturation, I just change the color. Cool, easy peasy. Let's see if I want to change the hose. Arms, just change the hose. Make sure I select it all. Hue saturation, and let's change it to be, I'm gonna take the saturation down. I'm gonna make these kind of yellowish. Well, that's one of the wonderful things about using like a Photoshop or some other digital illustration tool. You can try different things to see what works. Like, oh, that's kind of cool. Colorful, more red. Awesome. Okay. And you also have the ability to add shadows or volume. So this side, I'm gonna make this the dark side. Like the light's coming from this direction. So I can just select all the shadowy sides of everything. Even this part, the shadow side of this part, the shadow side of this part. What else? Oh, this is kind of a shadowy part. And this part is shadowy. And this part might probably be a little bit shadowy. And I can just darken them all at the same time. Isn't that cool? And I can lighten things up too at the same time. So like this area right here is probably going to be lighter. And this area right here is probably going to be lighter. I'll do this part right here is going to be lighter. This area is going to be lighter. And this is going to be a little bit lighter. I'm just grabbing some of the highlights. And I can do hue saturation and then lighten it. Isn't that neat? Now, I can add a little bit of detail using the dodge burn tool. Watch what happens. I have that really cool metallic look, so. If I wanted something to look really metallic, I can use this tool. But if I don't want it to look metallic, I can do something like this. I'm gonna use my little smudge tool on these arms and stuff to create a really cool looking texture on these ribbed hoses. Up here, using my brush tool, I can have a lot of fun getting this like a light color like this, and then creating, like if the light's coming this way, it's gonna catch the edge right here. And it's gonna catch the edge right here, this panel, and this one too. Maybe even this right here. It's so awesome. It's gonna catch a little of this edge, and let me grab this color. It's gonna catch that edge too. Oh, how fun. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of a shadow here. The light's coming from this way, or follow my pen. I can create a little bit of a shadow right here. I'm gonna fill it with black to transparent. And I can just go, whoop. Oh, this lens doesn't look quite right. So let's do something with that lens. I'm going to take this lens here and add a little bit of light right there. Using some of this color right here. There we go. That looks a little bit better. It's a dark eyeball. And I can, oh, this will be cool. I can come up here and just draw in some reflections and stuff. Make a smaller brush. And it needs a little bit of color right here. Easy peasy, change this color. Do you remember how to change the color? Command U, change the color. Let's do, I want to do something warm. Like this is heart. There we go. And this is the frappe button, so let's change this button a little bit. Let's colorize it a little bit. Maybe make it a little brighter. Awesome possum. And now we've created a robot using simple kitchen appliances. Be sure to subscribe and why is this the hardest thing for me to do is to ask you to keep watching my videos and subscribe. It's the silliest thing. It should be pretty fun and self-explanatory. So please, be sure to subscribe so you can watch all my great videos. See you later.